It's 7:34 PM. You sit down at your desk after a long day at work and open up your Telegram groups to check in with the boys and see which inevitable 100x runners you missed. GM, you say, despite the fact it's 8 PM. Nobody replies. You open up PADRE, or if you have 3 brain cells, a Telegram bot, and top it up with some Solana. This now hurts because Solana is around $220. You long for the days when a 1 sol hit was literally half price, and a 90% loss now is something you cannot suffer. The pace is slow. You're staring at your wallet tracker, waiting for a ping. And while this is happening, you go through a phase of looking back at all of your financial decisions that have led to this point. Savings, phantom internet money, time, telling yourself you'll lock in 38 times a day. I mean, that part's still there. With the trenches quiet, you have 2 options: imminent death or prolonged death. Imminent death involves going onto the trenches tab and scanning new pairs, losing everything on bundled garbage. Prolonged death is waiting on a wallet tracker ping or someone to drop a coin in one of your groups, then you're ready to lose everything once again on bundled garbage. You get a ping and you follow it straight in, immediately questioning why you bought it on a pump. Should you have waited? Should you sell it and rebuy? Do you just hold it and hope for the best? The good news is that the first one is always free. You're gonna be green at some point on this trade, more likely than not. How green is anyone's guess, but the reality is you'll be up a minimum of 10 to 20% and then round trip it immediately and go back to square one. From here, if you haven't sold when the chart inevitably pumps back up, the DD begins. Now, most people do this before they buy a coin, but this stage is entirely optional and usually reserved for those that just want some confirmation bias after they've bought an absolute shitcoin. You start examining top holders, looking for patterns, and basically any sign that what you've bought isn't the exact Pico top before it all collapses. On here, for instance, we can see a ton of new top holders have all been new wallets at the bottom of the chart, hinting at a potential CTO. You then share this with your friends, so you can dump on them. Nobody buys, you end up selling out of boredom or down 30%, and your journey into the trenches continues. Now, there will be a point where somebody sends a play from a day or 2 ago and it's now around 200k when you had 11k entry. This makes you incandescent with rage, but ready to lock in, knowing that you're in all the right places, you're just an idiot. Lock-in number 49 is spoken into existence, you find a token, and this time, you're up. Not a lot, but at least enough to pay for an Uber Eats. There are many ways of trenching. As Jose showed us in our first 2 trading challenges.
Oh my oh my god. Oh my god, bro.
There are guys who buy literally anything with no research and hope for the best. Then there are guys who do research after buying, like Titan.
Alright, we're gonna leave that DD real quick. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, I didn't have enough time to DD. Oh, we're back down.
And then there's me, who sits on a coin for 45 minutes with no movement, only to sell and watch it do a 30x. I somehow don't know which of the 3 is worse. Or you hold through all the noise and round trip the lot, convincing yourself it's a noble deed, of a holder, of a Chad. I don't take profits, you say out loud, down 85% after being up 745. I take scenic routes back to 0. At some point, you'll find yourself watching pump.fun live streams, since now Elon is pushing creator capital markets and rewarding streamers. Finding early streamers before they blew up appears to be a move that many are making. It sounds fun, but in reality, you'll spend an hour watching things like this to lose 0.4 sol. The most dangerous part of a night in the trenches, though, isn't when you first start, but when you've actually made money. A 3 to 4x would be good enough to pull away, but overtrading is a nasty business, and what separates traders from, well, degenerates is the inability to pull away and then further wash all of the profits they've just made. But before you crash out, a quick visit to the rewards tab for one last stimmy sets you back up for another rodeo. And with PADRE, you can get more cash back on your trades than any other platform, so there's more money to lose back again. You can easily spend 4 to 5 hours staring at charts, losing money, when you could have walked away 3 hours ago up 30%. After your stimmy and another inevitable loss, you promise yourself you're done for the night, but your fingers betray you. One more glance at the trenches tab, just one. 30 seconds later, you're watching a chart that looks like Everest after it's just launched and the Mariana Trench 10 minutes later. You tell yourself, next time I'll sell at the top. The same lie you've whispered 47 times in the last 3 days. It's now 11 PM. You should be sleeping, but instead you're zooming into the 1 minute chart like it holds the secrets of the universe. You convince yourself a reversal is forming, refreshing the X community of a random dog coin and drawing fib retracements on a meme coin worth 15k. You see the holders going up and somehow don't correlate that an X community with 2 people likely means it's just one person bundling supply to nuke on your unsuspecting head. Your girlfriend texts you asking you why you're not in bed. You reply, "Can't right now, babe, I'm fighting the whales." She stops replying, thinking you're playing that pirate game again. But much like pirates, all of your treasure is now lost at sea. And by treasure I mean this month's rent. You sell your last bag, unwilling to hold overnight, and head to bed. You wake up and the coin that you sold is now up 8x from your entry, because apparently life-changing gains only happen while you're asleep. Apart from the ones you hold, they turn into dust. And as you sip your morning coffee, down another Solana, your port is lighter, your spirit is crushed, and your friends are ghosting you. But deep down, you know that you'll do it all over again tonight, because that is just a typical meme coin trading experience. Eternal pain, wrapped in rocket emojis.